Team, welcome along to day number 2. And look, I want to quickly start with this short video around a strategy and a solution. And it's a system, really, of how we can overcome stress. So, daily stress. So, before we get into it, I want you to write down on a piece of paper, on your phone, I want you to write down what you would do if you won Lotto this weekend. I don't know how much it is. If it's 10 million, let's say 20 million. $20 million. What would you do if you won $20 million? And so I want you to jot down, if it's the holiday, if it's the helping parents and family, buying the car, buying clothes, moving, house, whatever it is, write it all down. World trip around Europe, cruise, Mediterranean cruise. I'd finally go back to the UK to catch up with my friends. I'd take my schoolmates and we'll go on a Pacific cruise around, whatever it is. I want you to jot it all down. Pause the video, write it all down. And I also want you to write kind of in another column next to those things is, how's it going to make you feel? So for me, the feelings would be around freedom, be able to travel and go whenever we want to go, be freedom. The feeling around helping others and taking them, family on holidays and friends on holidays, will be like I'd feel kind of helpful. I'm helping people. I've always wanted to help people, and I have a bit of sense of significance because I've done something really good for them. So in the other column, write down how these things would make you feel. Okay, so pause now and jot that down. And so no doubt over the last 24 hours you've started to notice events that come up in your day, how you start to think and feel about those events and whether that causes you to be above or below the line and how long you are that way for. And if you're like me, when I first started to become aware of how I was thinking and feeling, I also started to notice how I was being and behaving to people in my circle of influence, to my darling, to my kids. And I wasn't happy with the way I was actually being. I was quite grumpy towards my kids, towards my darling. I kept blaming her, which meant there was this conflict and this feeling of just always up against each other. And when I noticed that, I was like, wow, I'm either going to keep doing what I'm doing and that will get to a place of not being really good, or I've got to change. And so this concept about we are always living into our future really changed the way I perceived myself and the things that happened to me during the day. So this is going to be a little bit weird. You're going to have to close your eyes. But I want you to think about closing your eyes. I want you to pretend you're at work and it's a Friday. And, you rock into work with a spring in your step because, at the end of the day, you've got this event that you've been looking forward to for a long, long time. It might be a celebration of someone's birthday. It might be your birthday. It might be an event that you've been planning for someone else's birthday. It might be heading away on holiday for a week with the family. And it might be that event, that holiday where, you've planned for the whole year that this is the time you're going to go away with your family and maybe other family is going to come along as well. And so that time when you rock into work and you're just so perky and you've got that real uplifted spirit. And you rock into work and you get through to morning tea and, people can tell that there's something about you. And you get back from morning tea. And if you're not in an office or a work environment, just pretend you're in an office with a group of people. And the immediate manager comes into your workspace and he says, right team, can we just have a quick quick meeting? And he brings you all together and he said, look, I know that some of you are looking forward to this weekend. I know that you've got a few things on. But unfortunately, the big boss needs us to get a project over the line in the next 48 hours. And it's going to require everyone from the team to participate, to be involved. And it's going to require all of us to be here over the next 2 days. So that's, not just Friday, but Saturday and Sunday as well. So, hopefully you're still closing your eyes. I want you to think about what you would think and feel in that instance towards what your manager's just said to you. It's a big amount of work. It's going to require some, pretty much an all-nighter Friday night and another all-nighter Saturday night with your team of people to get through this workload, through this project, and you're going to have to now ring up your family, your friends who was coming to this event on the Friday night. You now have to ring them and say, look, I can't come, and I can't make it. I'm stuck at work for the next couple of days. And so I want you to now think about, eyes closed still, how are you thinking and feeling in that moment about not being able to go to that thing you've been planning for and thinking about for so long? And, the manager then says you guys just get back to work. He'll bring in the rest of the workload shortly. And as you drag your feet back to your desk, you're just kind of huffing and puffing. What does that feel like? What does that workload look like over the next couple of days? And you start, maybe having a bit of a whinge to your workmate of how you're going to miss the holiday that you've been planning for a year. You get on the phone to your wife and say, look, I can't make it. The boss, we're all in. We can't leave. And, how devastating that feels. And, just again, how big does that workload look that you're going to have to get into over the next couple of days? Then 10 minutes later, all of a sudden, the boss calls you back in, right, guys, and you drag your feet in. You're like, oh, what now? And he says, look, team, we've had an awesome call with the big boss. It's a multinational global company. And what he said is, when we get our work done over the next 2 days, we smash it out, we will get whatever you wanted that you wrote on that piece of paper, whatever you wanted when you win lotto. And they will send you on that holiday to catch up with the family or whatever the event was. So imagine at the end of the 2 days that you get whatever you wrote down on that piece of paper. Whatever you wrote, if you had won lotto, whatever you wrote down, you will get at the end of the 2 days. And I want you to sit with that for a moment. I want you to think about how that feels. How that feels, or how that 2 days of work now feels and now looks like to you. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And what do you start thinking about? What are the words and internal talk that start to come out? Knowing that at the end of the 2 days, at the end of the work, you will get whatever it is you wrote down on that piece of paper. Right, so open your eyes. I really want you to share on the Facebook group, what were the feelings that came up initially when, that challenge came and prevented you from getting or going to that thing that you really wanted to get to. And then how it felt once he said, right, you can have whatever you want. Whatever you wrote down, you will get at the end of those 2 days. Really keen to hear what you think. And so the concept that we're talking about here is that we are always constantly, the brain and our mind is always constantly living into our future. And if our future is shit, if the view and the vision of our future is it's hard work, there's no time for rest, there's no time for fun, there's always commitments, there's just work. If our vision of our future is I can't get ahead any further, I'm just stuck in the place that I'm stuck at, if it's shit, then whatever comes at us during the day will cause us to think shit, will cause us to react below the line, will cause us to react negatively. If our future and our vision of our life is exciting, positive, it's joyful, it's got stuff of dreams, of dreams coming true, it's a joyful things, then whatever comes at you almost seems very small compared to the reward that we're going to get at the end of the vision of our future. So what the message is we need to make the future, the vision of our future, so compelling, so exciting, so joyful that when we get up each day, that is what we're playing for. We know that is the end game that we're playing for, and so whatever comes at us during that day, we're able to manage, work around, work through, be above the line, and find solutions and find other ways to get through and take action. Kia ora